Very much all quiet on the Eastern Front, and that is not surprising as we build up to what is probably going to be the most anticipated central bank meeting of the year. Everybody in this region and across the globe is currently waiting to see what Mario Draghi does tonight for us here in Asia, and for that reason we have seen almost no movements at all in any bursa across the entire region. Nikkei flat, ASX flat, also here in Singapore it's flat as well. The only interesting sort of data that came out today over here in Asia was in Australia. We saw the trade balance numbers. Headline figures actually surprised quite dramatically, having a deficit of 122 million. Expectations had actually been for around about $510 million expansion. So that was quite an interesting movement. However, it's very easily explainable. We saw imports up 2% and exports down by around about 1%. But when you actually dug into the numbers, and that's why we saw the Aussie dollar rally back quite nicely after the fact, the iron ore price and the iron ore nominal numbers were actually better than last month. We saw that also in copper. It was a little bit flat in things like coal and also in petroleum, but all in all, if you look underneath the numbers and have a look at it on a nominal basis, it was relatively good, and that saw a spike down in the Aussie dollar and then a rally back in the rest of the afternoon, and the bursa down there did the same thing, spiked down and then rallied back to dead flat. So not a huge amount of news over here, and as I said, it's all about what happens with Mario Draghi tonight, and we'll be watching that just as closely as the rest of the world. Not as much major news in Asia tomorrow, so we will certainly be moving on from what we saw overnight for us over here in Mario Draghi's decision at the ECB. It is certainly the biggest driver, and what we've been watching very, very closely, if you have a look at the euro dollar, the option positions taken in that pair at the moment is at levels not seen since 2011. So the market is expecting volatility, and I think no matter what happens tonight, there will be very, very sharp and almost violent moves in that pair particularly. It also means the dollar yen is the other currency play to watch, and considering the US dollar is gearing up towards those non-farm payrolls on Friday, that's the other pair to watch. The Nikkei has done incredibly well this week, and it's certainly outstripping the rest of its Asian neighbours, and that may be a pair to watch to drive the Nikkei higher. It's starting to break away, and that inverse correlation that has been so strong last year, it certainly has broken down, but it is still certainly driving that currency and also driving that index when it needs to, and that's what we're also going to be watching tomorrow. So not a huge amount of data to really drive Asia, but it will be all about what we see in the ECB overnight for us, and for that reason we're going to be watching it very, very closely to see how we here in Asia go tomorrow.